Hello guys, Civi Live. So here we have the replays versus me and Exka. Let me turn this down a little bit on my headphones. I had the live recording. I do have the live recording of this, but it's in the new version of Camtasia. And for me to get that, I probably have to buy it, which is like $200 a year or something, which I'm not paying. And if I upload it anyway, it'll have like a big watermark, so nobody would want to see that. So I'll just kind of explain like what I was feeling like at the time anyway. So it's fine. So I knew he was bringing this psychic game one. Like I predicted him to bring this psychic really bad, but and I know that Exka didn't want me to, because I didn't really hacks him, but in the last game, I'm pretty sure I crit him or something like that, and I don't know. And I was just screwing around him for him, so he definitely didn't want me to win this. So I knew he would bring this team. I looked in his replays, really good matchup versus what I like to use. I knew he'd bring it, but I ended up bringing this team anyway, even though I had another water team with a Mega Gara that would have done better versus this, but I ended up bringing this anyway. So yeah, so I was very scared in this matchup, and I was playing in the back the whole time, so let's just get right into it. Let's just switch sides. So I know he's gonna lead off with Dio. I'm gonna lead off with my Greninja because I am Scarf. I can just U-turn out immediately, put this thing in range of another U-turn. So I'm gonna U-turn out into my Manton here. I figured he'd want to taunt here, so I'm gonna go right back into my Gren as he goes for a spike, which is fine because I can just U-turn again here. I thought he'd actually save Dio there, but he ends up sacking it there, so that's fine. I guess he assumed I had Dark Pulse or something. So goes into Jirachi, goes for the Thunder Punch. I actually so let me explain this play here, right? So I expected him to want to go out into his Lottie, predicting my my Swampert to want to come in, but I get that play wrong. So I'm just gonna go directly into my Pex here as he goes for another Thunder Punch. Totally fine. He's gonna go for another Thunder Punch as I'm gonna get up my T-Spike, and that T-Spike right there is just gonna help out with like my it's gonna be able to poison this, which is a huge threat to my team, and I can just U-turn around, and you know, I'm basically trying to win with my Scarf Gren in the back. So I'm gonna recover here. I know he was gonna go into Goth, but there was no double I could have made that really would have helped me because everything on my team would have been trapped anyway. I guess I could have doubled back into Keldeo, but I don't think that would have helped me that much anyway. So just gonna bunker here just to let him take more poison. He's just gonna go for a Psychic. He's just gonna Psychic again. I already know this team. This is Specs. It was like Psychic, T-Ball, HP Ground. So I'm gonna go into my Manton here because I realized that I can actually defog on this as he goes into Wobbuffet. So like I was like, yes! I was screaming. I was like, yes! He let Wobbuffet get toxic. So I'm gonna throw off a Scald here because there's nothing I can do to this Wobbuffet, and it's just free damage. So I'm gonna Scald again, and here, this turn basically lost me the game. Like this was literally the worst possible turn for me. I didn't even realize at the time. I was like, oh no, because I actually burned this thing, and my way of checking this is toxicking it with Swampert, and the fact that this thing is burned now, it's like really bad for me. Like it was really bad. Like this whole time I was playing in the back. So I'm gonna go into my Swampert. I am Spadef Roar, so I can take on whatever this wants to do. Just gonna go for a stored power here as I'm gonna roar him out into his Goth. I know he doesn't have the E-Ball, so I'm just gonna Earthquake and hopefully knock him out as I do. So in comes the Wobbuffet. I'm just gonna get my rocks up on it as he's gonna Encore me, which is whatever. The more he stays in, I'm just getting more health back here. So into his Latias he goes, and I'm just gonna rock again. I can't really allow this thing to just set up freely. Like I knew he was either gonna Thunderbolt here. Like I knew he was gonna Thunderbolt there just cause I could go directly into my Greninja. So I'm gonna go into my Greninja now and just go for a free U-turn here. And here I was so mad because if I Ice Beamed here, I won the game. But I figured he'd want to sack his Jirachi potentially here, but he just stays in with his Lottie. Now I can just go into my Swampert here and just roar, because I know he's just going to recover again as I get Victini, which is whatever. I know he's going to VK here, so I think I just Quake, because I realized that he's going to try and sack everything so that his Lottie can be a last mon situation, and I have to put myself in a position where Greninja's the last mon and I'm spamming U-turn and not allowing the Lottie to recover. Here you go for the trick, and this should have lost me the game, honestly, because I was getting too ahead of myself and I didn't realize that this could be tricked, just because I've been forcing like Healing Wish Rachi from like Imka, and this is probably just the tilting from me on the ladder factoring in a bit. So here I definitely should have swapped to like Keldeo, because there's no other reason you go into Jirachi other than just to sack this or the trick, as he gets the play right. But here, like, what he should have done was go into Wobbuffet. Sorry about that. So what he should have done is gone into Wob there, forced me to kill him with Earthquake, and then to go into his Lottie, Calm Mind up, and then Greninja can no longer kill him unless I crit him with U-turn or something like that. But even then, he can recover spam. So he definitely choked by going to Lottie first, because now I can actually play around him. So I'm gonna come in on the Sword Power, live it, just go for the Roar, and now he's gonna Encore me in the Roar. I can just Roar again. Now here I think I go hard Greninja. Yep. And now I'm in a position that I wanted to be in. So now I can just spam Ice Beam. And this should be game. Oh, well, I thought it was game, but Ice Beam does nothing. So I Ice Beam again here. And even after a +1, I end up killing him because that burn actually does enough. And that's game. Yeah, so like I was screaming in chat that I finally killed that thing. So we managed to get the first game. So here's the second game. Didn't really play this too well, but let's just go over it. Just switch sides. So I'm going to lead off with my Garchomp versus his Garchomp. I'm just going to get up my rocks as he's going to do the same. And I'm going to Outrage and hopefully lose the speed tie, but I win it. But we double down anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I was trying to avoid going out into my Latios as he goes into his Latios, but he does the same thing and goes out into Latios here. I'm going to try and screen up as I do lose the speed tie. So here I should go into my Latios, but I made a misplay, and I should have went out into my Latios, but I didn't want to put myself in a position where like Latios can lose the E-Speed because I took rocks first, but I should have done that anyways, because you'll see right here, he's going to Tailwind, and I didn't realize they run Tailwind in Gen 5, so that's game, like literally, because everything's going to outspeed me, and I tried to waste a turn of Tailwind by Earth Powering, but like, now you just spam Draco. I even missed the Draco with Scarf Lottie, and this is game, I can't win, so that was like game 2, super quick, like, honestly, this tournament, Gen 5 was definitely not my strong suit. I was getting better in it, but definitely didn't play too well in Gen 5. So next we have Gen 6. I ended up bringing that Electric that I brought before. I was expecting him to bring Psychic, as I guess he did the same because he brought like Volt Turn Flying. Well, not Volt. I think it's Volt Turn, but I don't know, he brought Double Genie Flying, so let's see how this, see how this goes. So he leads off with Skarmory. Gonna lead off with my Rotom because it's a very good matchup versus team. Leads off well versus Landorus. Gonna Volt Switch here on the Skarmory as he goes out, and he just goes for rocks. I'm just gonna defog here. There's no reason for me to make a play, and I kind of want to see what his Landorus is, so I'm gonna go into my Rotom here and see if he's Rock Slide, as he is. So now I think here I Volt Switch because I know he's gonna predicting the Hydro Pump. And I'm gonna go out into my Magnezone, and then I think I Volt Switch here again. I don't know, it was tough. It was really tough playing around his Zapdos. So I'm just gonna, I was Specs, so I'm just gonna go for a Thunderbolt and do a ton. As he goes out into his Landorus, I'm gonna go out into my Thundurus here because I figured he would go for a move. He would go for something to hit possibly my Rotom there or something like that. So yeah, I get to play right. So I'm just gonna go for an banded knockoff, get rid of the item on Zapdos. Into Magnezone we go, and here I was expecting him to stay in or go out into his Landorus, so I double in my Thundurus here as he does stay in and go for the Roost. Just gonna go for a Wall Charge, do as much damage as possible, because I figured he wouldn't Roost there, but like predict a taunt or something like that. So Zapdos is low, so all I gotta do is keep Zapdos low and we should be good to go. So I'm gonna HP Ice here on his Thundurus because I figured he'd want to possibly risk Landorus there, but he doesn't. And I don't really want to lock myself into that move and then let Landorus come in. So gonna go on to my Zapdos here as he doubles out into Gyarados, because I figured he'd want to bring in Gyarados potentially, so Zapdos is a good play. I'm gonna go into my Vodoom here as he on his Gyarados as he goes out into his Landorus. Just gonna Hydro Pump so I can kill that thing finally. And Vodoom is low, so it's a bit scary, but I think we're okay. I think I Volt Switch here, which I should have Will-O-Wisp, but I thought Volt Switch would have been fine into Mega Ampharos Volt Switch. Which is what I go for. And he sacks Thundurus. The fact that he swapped out his Gyarados was huge though, because now at this point I should be able to win with my Raikou just being able to spam like Thunderbolt / Volt Switch. So I Volt Switch here because I figured he'd be Dragonance or something like that, or he would Outrage. So I'm gonna sack my Rotom there, and now I can go out into my Magnezone. Just go for the nice and powerful, not specs. We were sturdy weakness policy, so I can just Thunderbolt, and that's basically game. Because like the only mon left is Zapdos, and I have Toxic on my Ampharos. As long as I hit the Toxic, we should be good to go. So I'm gonna skip a little bit, but yeah. We missed the Toxic here, but we do play well enough around his Dragonite, like not letting him pressure us enough with switching around. It's like here he shouldn't have sacked. He shouldn't have stayed in with D-Knight here, because now I can just go out to my Raikou and I can just Thunderbolt. And now I just spam Thunderbolt with Raikou until my Ampharos comes out. I click. Actually, no, I don't spam it. I just go hard into it because I resist anyway. And we just Toxic Zapdos here, and that's game. Because now I just outstall him. So we ended up winning Monogen, which I'm very, very happy about. It's my first tournament win on main. Hopefully one of many. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.